was the last time you had a meaningful interaction with a complete stranger? When you shared something special, a smile, an emotion? What was the situation, the setting, what triggered it? Maybe you can't remember. In our Western cities, where we walk down the street, we see more and more people walking around staring at their phones, completely detached from their environment. We see more and more people in public transport with headphones on, closing themselves off to any new potential human interactions. There's a growing feeling of separations, of fear, of insecurity. We hardly know the names of our neighbors. We don't know the names of our local shopkeepers, police officers, or school teachers. Yet when we think of life in small villages and cities in the past, you have these images of places where you knew most people, where you interact with almost everyone you come by every day. A real sense of community. There were places that were meant to gather people to share experience, like church, with ceremonies like baptism and marriage as a place of self-reflection. There was the lively town square, like the Plaza Mayor in Spain, where we just go to hang out, to walk around together, to be with each other. There were ceremonies like, and celebrations, like Thanksgiving, harvest celebrations. There was less traffic, more time, more connections. But we shouldn't be stuck on the past. We need to reinvent the city. And that's what my work is about. My work is an experiment in living together in the urban environment. And I'd like to show you today that by creatively rethinking our use of urban space, we can transform the way we engage both with each other and with our environment, bringing joy and a renewed sense of community. Let me start by telling you about a very simple idea I had 5 years ago. I recycled an old newspaper dispenser. With a friend, we painted it. We wrote on it, Neighbourhood Exchange Box. Take something, give something. And we put it out on the street. It was just an experiment. I wanted to see what would happen with the box and if people would be interested. And it worked really well. People started trading books, CDs, DVDs, toys, egg boilers and snow chains, all type of stuff that didn't need anymore, but that could be useful to someone else. Soon enough, the box became a completely normal aspect of life in my neighborhood. So with my team, we installed 10 more boxes. We started receiving hundreds of posts and messages from our happy customers, the people on the street. So we started to collect data. Over 1 year in the 11 boxes in my city, over 100,000 objects were traded. And that's 32 tons of material. But what you have to understand is this. We're not the caretakers of these boxes. We just put them on the street. But people will come and start cleaning up the box, making sure there's content and removing things that shouldn't be there. And that's something that happens with every single one of the boxes and with every single one of my participative projects. People will start taking responsibility. I want to show you a few seconds of a time-lapse we did from my own balcony of over 1 day of one of the boxes. It goes really fast. So here you see there's been already 44 people that came and interacted with the box, 6 people that gave a lot of things into the box, and 30 people that actually took something. But I want you to see a woman that's going to come up very soon. She's a sorter. Here she comes. Look at her. I don't know if you saw what she did, but she just took out the whole content of the box and put it back in, sorted out. I don't know this woman. I have no idea who she is. But this role just appeared, and that's something that happens with all the boxes. People will take responsibility. And that's something we understood. If you put something out for people, and they understand that it depends on them to make it work, people will make it come to life. People want to be useful to their community. There are now over 40 boxes across Switzerland, and that number is going to double within the next few weeks. There's been media coverage all the way to Brazil and Russia and Thailand. And the mission is now for the boxes to go really worldwide and to become a completely normal aspect of urban life. But there's something I want to point out. The effect of a box goes actually much further than just people trading stuff. People will notice that the box is working, that it is respected. This, in turn, changes the way they see their neighbors, their neighborhood, and their city. And that brings a renewed sense of community and of security. Let me tell you about street pianos. Play Me, I'm Yours is a project by artist Luc Jéram. And again, it's a very simple idea. You take pianos, you put them out on the street for 2 weeks for people to play freely. We've been organizing Play Me, I'm Yours in Geneva for 4 years. Last year, we had 45 pianos in the street. This year, we should have 56. I really liked the reaction from the authorities when I came to them and told them about the project. They went, "Oh, Dan, we really like you. We love your work, but this is crazy. Within 2 days, the pianos will either be in the lake or have been burned down." And I said, it's okay. Let's see what happens. It's an experiment. And what happened was really beautiful. There were pianos by the lake, on street corners, in the parks, and at bus stops, and all the pianos were played extensively. People just went for it. Bands and musicians started going around the pianos, giving impromptu concerts. Passers-by played and gathering crowds, and kids that had never touched a piano started banging on them. We even had street players and bank workers actually jamming out together. People sang and danced till 4 in the morning, something really special. And when we told everyone via social media that there were only a few days left, the reaction was really emotional. People said, "The pianos can't go, they have to stay. I've never seen my city like this. I met so many people. I sang and danced all night long with complete strangers. This is how I love my cities. The pianos can't go." And none of the pianos had been damaged. We had even told people they could go on the street to actually paint them. And hardly anyone dared. And the ones that did were told off by passers-by. People really took care of the pianos. When it would start raining, we would go from piano to piano to cover them up with a special rain cover that we had attached to them. And every time we would get to a piano, we would find it already covered, and quite often with someone still playing underneath the cover. At the end of the first edition, the local authorities came back to me and said, "Dan, you've given us our faith back in the population." And that's big. I took the piano project a step further. With Les Pianos la Nuit, I organized concerts on these pianos from midnight till 1 in the morning, only on weekdays. The reaction came really quickly. People said, "But we're on weekdays, I'm working the next day. What about culture for all?" To this I answered, I'm not interested in how many people will turn up. I'm interested in the experience. And that has just started with you asking yourself, I'm going to stay up that late, and what should I wear, and I'm going to get there, I'm going to get back. And is there going to be anyone else there? And there was. 200 to 300 people every night listening in silence and respect to beautiful classical music, or dancing tango, or singing and clapping to Cuban music. All this while the rest of the city was asleep. We tend to think of people in Switzerland as being quite cold and closed off. But when given the opportunity, people love just, come out and experience things with complete strangers. You just have to scratch the surface a little bit, and it all comes out. This is Touch and Dance. It's an installation we put on city squares. where you're invited to come and plug in your own MP3 player to blast music and dance if you want to. But the only thing is, if you want the music to actually come out, you have to gather 7 people, get them to link hands, and to connect 2 switches that are 25 feet apart. Then the music starts for 3 minutes, and then you have to start all over again. And this is really powerful. We get complete strangers actually calling out each other, come on over, come on, yeah, you too, yeah, over there, come on over here, and actually physically connecting to share an experience. Ciné Transat is a beautiful series of events throughout summer. It's a free open-air movie, free open-air cinema by the lake in a beautiful park, where people come with their own picnic. They enjoy the sunset until the movie starts. But actually, it's much more than this. For me, the movie is only a pretext for what we get people to experience together. First, we only play cult movies with happy endings. Okay, we have people vote for the movies they want to see. We have picnic contests. We have theme nights with props and games and people dressing up. We even have giant karaokes where it's not someone grabbing the mic, but like the whole crowd singing together. And I want to show you what a Bollywood night looks like. So for a Bollywood night, we have Bollywood dancers. So we grab the mic and say, okay, everybody, let's dance, stand up. And the whole crowd goes for it and dances together and learns the routine. You're welcome to join in. All this adds up to completely transform the cinema experience. We go from an individual experience where if you start, at the movie theater, speaking with your neighbor, someone will come and start, like knocking at the back of the seat and you go, shut up, to a collective experience where everybody's laughing together, clapping, singing, whistling at the bad guys, and at the end of the movie, actually living with the feeling of having lived something really powerful together. But we can go even deeper than that. This is Secrets. It's an installation I've been working on. I want to build giant letters, 4.5 meters high, made of wood, and put it on a big city square. Over 5 days, people will be invited to come within the center of this installation. There, they will find notes that say, "This is my secret. Let's burn it together." People will be invited to come and free themselves of a secret and anonymously pin it to the inside of the letters, or just to come within the space and be a witness of all the humanity that surrounds them. And on the last day, the last evening, we would all get together and set the whole thing on fire. Thank you. These kind of ceremonies already exist, but you have to travel halfway around the world in the middle of the desert to places like Burning Man. Or you have to actually go to a spiritual retreat, remove yourself from society for a few days to do some inner contemplation. But what if we could bring these moments back into the city, to everyday people, to people like you and me? What if we can bring back these moments of shared emotions back into our lives? I believe that by creating the right situations, big and small, we can transform the way we engage with each other. We need to create more opportunities for people to meet, to be together, to share, to be good to one another, and to have fun together. Because when all this happens, we get to know each other better, we trust each other more, and we transform the way we live together. Thank you.